2025, a year that left Hollywood fans stunned. Beloved celebrity couples ended their stories, some after decades together, others just when we thought love was at its peak. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. Two names, two splits, and the world is still trying to understand why. But behind the headlines, beyond the gossip, there are human stories of love, heartbreak, and growth. Let's go behind the tabloids and feel what these breakups really meant, not just for the stars but for all of us who have loved and lost. Let's take a look at Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's split. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Just the names evoke admiration, glamour, and a kind of fairy tale love story. Hollywood adored them. Fans followed them everywhere. Red carpets, magazine covers, interviews, social media posts. Their love looked perfect, like it could weather any storm. But as 2025 unfolded, something the world didn't expect happened. Their marriage ended. At first it was subtle. A brief statement. A quiet confirmation. Nothing dramatic. But the world noticed. And suddenly people everywhere were talking. News articles appeared in seconds. Social media exploded. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, discussions, theories, and emotional reactions filled feeds in real time. Imagine being in a relationship where every moment is under a microscope. Every smile, every disagreement, every time you say, "I love you," it's documented, analyzed, dissected. And even when your heart is full, the world watches as if your private feelings belong to everyone. Nicole, one of Hollywood's most celebrated actresses, built a career on her craft. Every role, every award, every public appearance, she gave it all. Keith, a global country music superstar, built his life on passion, love, and music that moved millions. Together they seemed unstoppable. But even the strongest bonds can face pressures the public will never truly see. Their statement after the split was short but heartfelt. Mutual respect, understanding, and a commitment to move forward separately. No blame. No dramatic accusations. Just honesty. And that honesty resonates more deeply than the gossip. Because this isn't just a story about a Hollywood breakup. It's about human emotions, about loving someone deeply, and yet recognizing that love sometimes changes form. Sometimes love means stepping back, giving space, and choosing personal growth over shared history. Pause for reflection. Have you ever loved someone and had to let them go, not because you stopped caring, but because it was the right thing to do? That's the story Nicole and Keith quietly shared with the world. And that's why so many people felt their heart break, because it's universal. There's another layer most people don't see. The emotional toll. Even the strongest people feel pain. Even celebrities, who the world assumes have perfect lives, face heartbreak alone in hotel rooms, backstage, or in private homes. There are nights they cry, days they question, and moments they wonder if the world will ever understand. Imagine sitting in your home, the world buzzing outside your door, and knowing your personal life is suddenly everyone else's topic. How would you feel? Scared? Sad? Angry? A mix of every human emotion? That's exactly what Nicole and Keith experienced. And yet there is grace here. Grace in the way they handled it. Grace in their choice to prioritize kindness over scandal. Grace in understanding that love doesn't always need to end badly to be real. Even amidst heartbreak, there's hope. Even when a chapter closes, the pages of life continue. For Nicole and Keith, their love may have evolved, but it hasn't disappeared. And that's a truth that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever loved and lost. Take a moment and think about your own relationships, romantic or otherwise. How often do people leave quietly? How often do we part ways with respect and care, yet the world only notices the end, not the journey? Nicole and Keith's story reminds us, endings don't erase the beauty of what came before. And in that quiet beauty lies the real emotional lesson. Love is complex. Love is messy. Love is human. And sometimes, the most powerful stories come not from the public fights or dramatic headlines, but from the quiet courage it takes to do the right thing for yourself and the person you once held closest to your heart. Another relationship split was that of Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. When people first heard that Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom had split, the reaction was almost the same everywhere. Shock, followed by confusion, then sadness. Because their love story felt warm. It felt playful. It felt real. They laughed together in interviews. They shared sweet moments online. They supported each other's successes. They blended their families. They looked like that couple who somehow made Hollywood love feel soft and simple. But in 2025, the truth came out. Their long relationship had quietly come to an end. No public fight. No loud breakup. Just two people with big lives, big dreams, and a bond that couldn't survive the pressure of the world watching. The thing people don't understand is that love in Hollywood is never just love. It's schedules, travel, distance, fame, expectations, interviews, red carpets, rumors, pressure, and millions of strangers watching your every move. Katy and Orlando tried. And they tried hard. They built a life that many admired, joyful, colorful, full of humor and tenderness. They gave the world reasons to believe in them. But reality is stronger than image, and even the sweetest love stories can struggle under the weight of real life. Imagine two people who genuinely love each other, but whose worlds constantly pull them in different directions. Imagine trying to maintain closeness while living out of suitcases. Imagine wanting time together, but your careers demand time apart. That is the emotional truth that few people saw. Pause for reflection. Have you ever loved someone deeply but life just wouldn't align for both of you? Have you ever had to choose between what you dreamed and what you felt? That's the storm Katy and Orlando found themselves in. Behind the cameras, there were quieter moments, late-night conversations, worries about the future, questions neither could fully answer. They faced the kind of doubt that enters gently at first, a small thought, a tiny fear, then slowly grows into something you can no longer ignore. Still, they didn't let bitterness win. They didn't turn their love into a headline war. They didn't let the world use their pain as entertainment. Instead, they chose dignity, respect, a peaceful ending. And that's rare. Very rare. We often see celebrity breakups explode into drama, interviews, tweets, accusations, shade, and public fights. But this one was different. Their silence was a form of love too, a way of protecting the story they once shared. Because sometimes the most emotional endings are the quiet ones. The ones where no one is blamed. The ones where no one is the villain. The ones where both people simply outgrow the version of life they built together. In many ways, Katy and Orlando's separation taught the world something we often forget. You can love someone and still let them go. You can care deeply and still choose different paths. You can end a relationship without ending the respect that held it together. Pause, think about your own life. Think about the moments when you walked away from someone, not because they hurt you, but because you both wanted different things. It hurts differently. A quieter way. A deeper way. That's the kind of heartbreak Katy and Orlando went through. Fans felt the pain. People across the world commented online about how love is dead. But love wasn't dead, it just changed form. This breakup wasn't the story of two people who failed. It was the story of two people who grew, just not in the same direction. And that is as human as it gets. This is why their split shocked the world so deeply. It reminded everyone that no matter how beautiful a love story looks on the outside, the inside can hold battles no one ever sees. At the end of the day, Katy and Orlando walked away with something many relationships don't survive with: kindness. They parted as two people who shared unforgettable years, a life chapter filled with joy, and a connection that shaped them in ways no one else could. Their story may have ended as partners, but not as enemies. And in Hollywood, that is the rarest ending of all. Let me give you one more shocking, unbelievable breakup. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's breakup. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren were the couple everyone believed would last forever. They were the definition of quiet love. Not loud, not dramatic, not constantly in the headlines, but steady, warm, and built on years of shared dreams. For nearly 2 decades, they built a life that looked unshakable from the outside. 3 children. A home full of laughter. Careers that grew side by side. But sometimes, even the strongest-looking walls can quietly crack. And that's exactly what happened to them. It didn't begin with a fight. It began with a feeling. A slow, creeping distance that neither one knew how to talk about. Jessica had become deeply focused on her business, the Honest Company, pouring everything she had into building a brand that stood for something meaningful. Cash had his own dreams, his own projects, his own vision for life. At first, they supported each other, cheering each other on, trading encouragement like love notes. But as time passed, their schedules stopped matching. Their conversations grew shorter. Their laughter became less frequent. It wasn't anyone's fault. It wasn't betrayal or anger or anything explosive. It was just life, slowly pulling two people in different directions. Imagine sharing a home with someone but feeling like you live in different worlds. Jessica felt it first, the quiet ache of realizing she and Cash didn't talk the way they used to. She tried to bring it up gently at first. "I feel like we're drifting." Cash listened. But neither of them knew how to fix something they didn't fully understand. And some nights, they went to bed with unsaid words between them. Not resentment, not coldness, just distance. The kind of distance that grows when two people are both trying but not connecting. The hardest moment came when they realized the kids could sense it too. Children always know. Not through words, but through energy. Jessica noticed her daughter watching her carefully, quietly. Cash noticed the kids asking if things were okay. And sometimes the truth is painful. Love is still present, but the connection, the daily thread that binds two hearts, has thinned. Then came the late-night talks, the tearful ones, the honest ones. They sat together, away from cameras, away from the world, and asked themselves the hardest question any long-term couple can face. Are we still growing together, or are we growing apart? There was no shouting, no blame, no scandal, just two tired hearts, trying to understand what was happening to them. Cash admitted he felt invisible sometimes. Jessica admitted she felt overwhelmed, like she was carrying everything and afraid to fail. Sometimes, love becomes heavy without either person meaning for it to happen. And so, they reached a place neither imagined, a separation. Not because the love was gone, but because the connection wasn't what it used to be. They needed space, time, breathing room. And that decision, that quiet, painful, adult decision, shocked many people who believed they were unbreakable. But inside their home, the truth was simple. Two good people, two loving parents, two hearts trying to do what was best for their family. They still cared deeply for each other, just differently. Jessica kept saying one sentence privately. We didn't fail. We just changed. Cash said something similar. I will always love her, no matter what shape that love takes. And that's the heartbreaking reality of long-term love. Sometimes two people don't fall out of love. They just outgrow the relationship they built together. Have you ever loved someone so deeply, only to realize that the relationship you built together is not the same anymore? That is Jessica and Cash's story. A story of love, growth, change, and two good people choosing a path that protects the peace in their home. Not a dramatic breakup, not a scandal, just real human heartbreak, the kind we rarely see in Hollywood. 2025 felt different because it came with a strange kind of energy. People felt it in their friendships, their work, their relationships. Something about this year made endings hit harder and new beginnings feel heavier. And when celebrities started breaking up one after another, it didn't feel like normal gossip anymore. It felt personal, almost like these stories belonged to all of us. There's a reason people felt those breakups so deeply. The truth is, the world has changed. We are more connected to celebrities than ever before. Think about it. We don't just watch their movies or hear their music. We follow their birthdays, their favorite snacks, their pet names, and their inside jokes. We see their morning routines on TikTok. We listen to their late-night Instagram lives when they look tired or stressed. For years, social media has pulled us closer and closer to the people we admire. So when something big happens in their lives, it doesn't feel far away. It feels like it's happening right beside us. 2025 didn't help. It was a year of tension. A year when people were already struggling with their own quiet heartbreaks and silent battles. So when a celebrity couple ended their relationship, people didn't just react with, "Wow, that's crazy." They reacted with, "I felt that. Why does this hurt? What is happening this year?" Because in a way, we were all breaking a little too. But here's the deeper truth, and maybe the most important one. People weren't just mourning the breakup. They were mourning what the relationship represented. Hope. Love that survives anything. A perfect story they could hold on to. When those stories fell apart, it reminded people of their own disappointments, their own failed relationships, their own choices that didn't work out. And suddenly, the line between their life and my life disappeared. 2025 made emotional stories louder. It made heartbreak feel universal. It made endings and fresh starts feel like a shared experience. Fans weren't just reading news online. They were joining healing circles without even noticing. Every comment section became a small community of people saying, "I've been there too. Breakups hurt. You're not alone." And maybe that's why these celebrity stories felt heavier. Maybe that's why we paid attention. Because sometimes another person's story helps us understand our own. But here comes the pause. A moment to breathe and reflect. Let me ask you something. Have you ever followed someone's journey so closely that their pain almost felt like your pain? Maybe it was a celebrity. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was someone you admired from a distance. That feeling? That deep emotional pull? That is the power of storytelling. It makes strangers feel familiar. It makes someone else's heartbreak touch something soft inside you. It makes you remember the chapters of your own life you haven't healed from yet. And in 2025, storytelling became even stronger. Every post, every video, every online moment allowed people to connect in ways we never imagined years ago. So when a celebrity breakup happened, it wasn't just news. It was a reminder. A whisper, a reflection, a soft echo saying, "We're all human, we're all trying, and sometimes we all break." That's why 2025 felt different. That's why these stories moved so many hearts. Because this year, more than any other, the world was ready for stories about resilience, heartbreak, rediscovery, and the long road back to loving again. Here come the lessons from these breakups. When people hear about celebrity breakups, the first reaction is usually surprise, then gossip, then judgment. But behind every headline, behind every rumor, behind every trending post, something deeper is happening. Real people are going through real endings. And those endings carry lessons, not just for celebrities but for all of us who have ever loved someone, lost someone, or had to let go even when it hurt. Because the truth is this: love is not always forever. Even the most beautiful love stories can have an ending. Not because the love was fake, but because people change, dreams shift, and life moves in ways we don't expect. Nicole and Keith, Katy and Orlando, two couples the world admired. Two relationships many people believed would last forever. But in 2025, both couples showed us something honest. Sometimes a chapter closes even when the love was real. And that's okay. These breakups also revealed something powerful, something we often forget when we're hurting. Growth is essential. Both couples made decisions based on who they were becoming, not who the world expected them to be. They didn't stay together just to look perfect online. They didn't pretend for the cameras. They chose growth over public pressure. That takes strength. Because sometimes the hardest thing you can do is walk away from someone you care about, simply because your paths no longer match. But here's what makes their stories even more meaningful: respect and compassion. Even after their separations, there was no war, no messy interviews, no cruel comments. Nicole and Keith still speak gently about each other. Katy and Orlando still show kindness when their names appear side by side. They remind the world that love doesn't have to end with hate. It can end with gratitude. It can end with maturity. It can end with peace. And that is a lesson many people need in 2025. But the biggest truth, the emotional truth, is something most of us learn only after life breaks us a little. Breakups are not failures. They are turning points. They are moments when life forces you to sit with yourself, to heal old wounds, to rediscover who you are without another person beside you. Think about it. Every breakup you've ever survived taught you something. Something about your heart. Something about your strength. Something about what you deserve and what you no longer want. And that brings us to the pause, the reflection moment of this chapter. Think about a relationship in your life that ended but left you stronger. That's the same lesson Hollywood is teaching us in 2025. These celebrity stories are not about drama. They're about growth, about choosing yourself, about being brave enough to close one door so another can open. In the end, every ending is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you learn, breathe, heal, and become someone wiser than before. That's the real lesson behind the headlines. That's the message 2025 is sending to all of us. Love deeply, let go gracefully, and trust that every ending is shaping you into someone stronger. 2025 will be remembered not just for celebrity breakups but for the emotional lessons these stories gave us. Love can be breathtaking and heartbreaking, public and private. And sometimes, the most human moments happen behind the spotlight, where only the heart truly sees. If you felt the emotions in this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional journeys from Hollywood and everyday life. Tell me in the comments, which 2025 breakup touched you the most and why?